This is a new series we've been working on, right, Marcos?
Yep.
Basically, gonna talk about Call of Duty everything. You know, uh, hopefully talk a little bit more. Esports or whatever. But this is it for now. We're starting off with Call of Duty and seeing where it all goes, right, Marcos?
Yep.
All right. So first, we gotta do some introductions. So we'll start out with Tito. Tito, um, what do you do, bro?
Uh, um, I'm a Call of Duty player in the basically on under 18 league or a red line call league, basically any league there is. And yeah, that's who I am.
All right. Um, I guess I'm Angle, I guess. I played college COD. Um, and, yeah, that's basically it for me. I don't know. I stream here and there, but that's about it. Alright, Marco. So,
Oh,
um, I guess starting off with answering questions about the podcast. This is hopefully something we want to do, like at least like once a week or something. Um, like I said, we're gonna start off with COD. Hopefully, branch out to other esports or sports in
yeah,
general. But I think that's about it. I don't know.
yeah.
You have anything else to say, Marcos?
Not twitch.tv/Tito underscore. Thank you.
All right, let's see. I guess we should start off with what's it called? Uh, right now we're at breaking point. Start off with Optic, Texas, Marcos. So this is it, Marcos. What are your thoughts on this, bro?
They're not making champs.
Yeah,
They're just not making champs. They I don't know why they're keeping Skies, drop Skies. He's not good. In my opinion, they should pick up Mercury's. And yeah, this team's not gonna make it to champs, bro. They deserve not to make it champs.
yeah, no, I agree. I don't know. I think it's crazy. This guy is still in the league. What else, Marcos? What about? Who do you think is the issue then?
Dude, I think it's Shotzi, bro. They're burning around Shotzi too much, bro. They're letting Shotzi take control of the team. I don't know, man. They got they gotta do roster changes, bro. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know either, bro. I don't know. I guess. How do you think the future's looking like, dude? For the Optic, bro. What do you think is gonna happen, bro?
They're not making it a chance, bro.
I don't.
They deserve to not make it a chance.
I agree. I don't know what's going on, but clearly Kenny and Pred weren't the problem, and that shows, in my opinion.
I agree.
What do you?
Especially Kenny. Kenny was not the problem.
I agree. All right. What do you think? What do you think happens to Dashi?
I don't know. That's a good question. I actually don't know. Um, if Dashi wants to win chips, then I'll leave that optic team.
Yeah, I don't
Cause
know.
that this optic team is not gonna win anything, bro.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know. I don't know. So, Marcus, what do you think is going on with FaZe, bro? Like, let's talk about FaZe real quick. You know, I don't know what's going on,
Uh,
dude. They three-peated
I
and
don't know.
then they
I know.
bombed.
I don't know what's going on with FaZe, bro. I think they'll come back strong in Major Four.
Think so?
I I honestly think they're still gonna win champs, bro, or the Esports World Cup.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they went back to back to back.
Yeah, but
I
this
don't know.
major
They looked very sloppy,
they
Major
just
3, in
they
my
did
opinion.
look very sloppy,
And they could have looked a lot better.
especially in the hard points.
Yeah,
They
I
just
mean,
did not play as a team in hard point.
yeah, I think FaZe will be fine. I don't know,
Yeah,
hopefully they come back Major 4, but I don't know what it could be.
yeah,
I mean, they won before, so I don't know what happened. You know what I mean?
yeah. I think they'll come back strong though.
Yeah, hopefully. I
Better.
mean, I guess, while we're here, let's talk about their first match for the qualifiers. Gonna be FaZe versus Vancouver. That's gonna be a good one. Who do you think is gonna win
No,
there?
I think the whole. I think Vancouver, bro.
Yeah, I think I gotta lean towards Vancouver. I don't know. They look way better than FaZe in my opinion. I don't
Uh,
know. I
might
think
go to Game 5, but
I think Vancouver's gonna win it.
yeah.
I guess what we're here. Let's talk about Vancouver, bro.
Oh yeah,
Back to back grand finals
what?
loss, dude.
08 in total.
Yeah. What do you think they need to do, bro, to finally win, bro?
I don't know, bro. They look like the best team in the league, and then when they get to the grand finals, they look like the worst team in the league, bro. I don't know, man.
I
Might
don't
be
know
their
yet.
nerves, cause it's basically a rookie team.
Yeah,
Could be the nerves. I don't know.
I think to be honest, it's gonna be a controversial take or whatever, but I think Neptune, bro. I don't know.
Neptune.
Think Neptune needs to turn up a little bit more during these grand finals. I feel like he has superstar performances, like you know,
Yeah,
he has superstar performances in league matches and like regular matches on land, but in grand finals, I mean, he pops off here and there, but I don't think he doesn't play as well as he does in league matches on grand finals.
yeah, I
I
agree.
think if he wants to be the superstar, he needs to have a superstar moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think for Vancouver, I think they should be fine for the rest of the season,
yeah,
but they just need to find that one player to pop off and like
yeah.
lead the team during those grand finals, in my opinion.
I
But
agree. I agree.
I think that's about it, to be honest, for Vancouver. Let's move on to, I guess, the other teams we need to talk about: the Royal Ravens and Toronto Ultra. I think. What are your thoughts on Ravens, bro? Dropping what was it again?
I forgot, bro.
Vivid,
Oh,
dropping
Vivid
Vivid mid-season, and
correct.
then yeah, they're not looking too good anymore.
I think. Not gonna lie, bro. I think they're worse, bro.
I think they're worse too. I think we're gonna talk about this later on, but I think they could have honestly benefited a lot picking up Mercules.
Yeah.
You know,
Not gonna lie, I think this Carolina Royal Ravens team is an online team.
yeah, I
They
think so
look
too.
really good online, but when they show up at land, nothing. They lose.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's honestly crazy.
I
Um,
think this team is an online team.
yeah, I think so too. Um, but I think I think Royal Ravens instead of Dylan Rex, I feel like it just sucks because they did a roster change before Mercules came in the league.
Yeah.
I feel like if they didn't, they waited a little bit longer. I feel like they could have probably picked up Mercules, and I think Mercules could have gotten them like a top three team instead of
Yeah.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Um, I guess let's move on to Toronto, bro. Mercules, bro, sitting on the bench. Looks like he's gonna be rocking the bench. What are your thoughts on that, bro?
I mean, I think this is the best decision for Mercury's. Not gonna lie, bro, because no team was trying to pick him up, bro.
Yeah, I know it's kind of crazy.
I I
I
think
think,
this I think this is like the only good option Mercury's had, bro.
yeah, I think we have it here.
All I gotta say is the CEO teams are tripping. I don't know why they didn't. None of them picked up Mercury's, especially Optic.
Yeah. Um.
This dude literally went to Miami thinking he was gonna play for Challengers, and last minute he played for Toronto, and look what happened. They placed top third
I mean, like, look at this.
as his first ever CDL
Looking like
event.
uh,
Not just an event, a land debut.
yeah, Mercules is gonna be what back on
Oh man, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn right there in Challengers, which is crazy because I think a lot of teams could have used Mercules, like Royal
Yeah.
Ravens, but I mean, it sucks for
Oh yeah.
Merc.
Yeah.
I think he's a top 10 player of all time right now in the league, but
I agree.
I guess it is what it is. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I think another team we should talk about here. Pull them up real quick. Minnesota Rocker, dude.
Oh, Minnesota Rocker.
You know, they struggled on land. They struggled. Look at this. They lost to Toronto 3-1. The KDs, shows it here. I
I
think,
think. Oh, you go first.
I guess for me, let's like, I don't know how to click on this. Um, I
Eastern.
guess, I think, Estriel, I don't know, on land. He looked like he struggled a little bit on land.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this Rocker team has potential ever since they pick up Kenny.
Yeah, they look a lot
They
better with
look
Kenny, but
they looked way better. I think they just still need to work on their groove, that team chemistry, I guess.
yeah, but I think
And
it's a little crazy.
yeah,
I think they just all need to turn up if they want to make it a
yeah,
champs. And I think if
this,
Optic, do stick up, then
yeah,
they'll be pretty good. I feel like they have a really good chance. Um,
that, yeah, that Rocket team has potential, bro.
yeah, but I guess the crazy stat right here, Marcos, is Optic after Major One haven't won a single series and have only won 5 maps against the top 18. So against, look at this, versus the bottom 4 teams, they're 7-2.
Damn,
Versus the top 8, they're 0-13. So they have not
damn.
beaten a top 8 team since Major One.
This just proves that if Optic makes it the chance, bro, they're gonna place top 8. They're gonna place dead last.
Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of crazy, but I mean, it is what it is, I guess, sucks. But,
Yeah,
I guess let's move on to another team. I think Rockers should be fine. They just gotta turn up these last couple of online qualifiers and Major 4. I feel like they gotta get a top 4 placement, and they gotta
yeah.
hope Optic bombs out of Major 4. Um, I guess let's talk about the Boston Breach. I don't really know how I feel about Boston. I mean, you know, it kind of. I mean, this is gonna be the team for the rest of the year.
Percent.
They're not gonna
I
make any roster
say,
changes. I don't think they're gonna make any roster changes. You know, but it
yeah,
sucks because this is the best team Boston has had like
and
ever. I feel like ever.
yeah,
This is like their best team in their franchise history, and it sucks because like came during a bad time and stuff. But
yeah.
I guess this is their opponents. Not
Damn, they got a
Yeah, they got a pretty
horrible.
hard bracket. They just gotta hope they could
The
beat Vancouver at least
only easy one is LAG, bro,
and Optic.
and Optic, obviously.
Yeah, it sucks for Boston, but
Speaking about Optic, Boston, every time Boston face against Optic, they beat them.
yeah, and I mean, it sucks, but
Yeah,
still gonna be rooting for Boston. My boy Snoopy, still my favorite player in the league. Um, but yeah, I mean, it sucks to be honest. It really does suck.
yeah.
I mean Vegas Falcons. I mean, they're not gonna make a roster change.
Their season is already chalked. We don't have to talk about that.
I guess, but we should talk about Cloud9. Um, dropping Mac.
For Capsule,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure just like we just got it here. I don't know where it's at.
yeah, I think just got like announced like a few hours ago.
Yeah, look at that.
By the time we're recording this,
Cloud9 right here. Picking up Capsule.
that's that's interesting.
I mean, Capsule has been
Very
fragging
interesting.
out
He did
challengers.
just won the Challengers Cup, I think. I think.
And
I might be wrong.
but I mean, they gotta make it to roster change in my opinion. Sorry, but Attach
Yeah.
has gotta go, dude. Like he's not playing good. Um,
Yeah.
but I think I just gotta
I
go.
don't. I don't know what happened with this Cloud9. This major, last major, they finished top fifth,
Top 5, yeah. I mean, I don't
or
know.
I forgot, and they were just low key turning up. They beat it Toronto last major. They had Ice, and now,
I mean, let's be real. Let's be honest. Sib is not gonna be on this Cloud9 team next year. There's no way, you know.
yeah,
But I mean, I guess good for Cloud9 making some roster changes for the World Cup. But I mean, I think Capsule should help him out. Mac had a really bad major and like everything.
yeah,
He's like one of the lowest KDs in the league, and Attach has got to go. I think if I was Cloud9, I would have gotten again Mercules.
I agree.
That would have helped this team a lot. Mercules and Sib as an AR duo would have been crazy, and it probably would have convinced Sib to stay. But you know, I guess it's not gonna happen. Um, but yeah, I guess that's Cloud9. Hopefully they figure it out, but I don't know if they are, dude. I don't know. And I guess, look at this. There you go. Mercules is returning to Challengers, rejoining Omid Brooklyn. Crazy. This guy is like insane. Best, probably top 5 AR right now in the league.
I
But
agree.
he's back in Challengers. That's crazy. Um, I guess, well, moving on to the last team we gotta talk about.
LA
Your
Thieves.
Major 3 champions, LA Thieves. I mean, I think this is what they needed, you know?
The about time they won. I'm lucky happy for Ghosty. He definitely deserved it.
Yeah, Ghosty. Um, finally won a major. I think though, I mean, I don't know. I think this is what LA Thieves needed. They finally needed to win the chip, and I feel like now that they won, finally, they got the nerves out, all that stuff. I feel like they might be unstoppable now, in my
I
opinion.
think I think LA Thieves just needs to play the same thing they did with this major
I feel like
for Major 4.
after this major,
And
I feel like
yeah,
I'll be honest. I think their confidence is gonna go crazy, and I think they're gonna be very confident. And I think this is what they needed, dude. I think
I
after
think
this, they're gonna be dominant on
I
land, on
think
online.
I think they're gonna look way better now because since Protocol Hardpoint's out and Rewind Hardpoint was is back. They
Yeah,
basically just gave LADs another major win because that was LAD's map back in Major
uh,
1, Rewind Hardpoint.
yeah, but I think this is LED is pretty good for LA. Nade shot, you know, finally, I guess, but I think this is, they might win champs, you know.
I think Chance Finals gonna be phase for LADs.
I think LA is definitely gonna make it at least to the champs grand
And I
finals or
think it's gonna
semifinals.
go to Game 9.
But yeah, I guess that's all we should talk about unless you know that's all the teams we want to talk about for now. We'll see what happens this upcoming Major Four split. Hopefully something crazy goes down. There's still roster
Uh,
mania going on today. Teams are changing literally like
as we
any
speak.
second. Yeah, as we speak. So I guess we'll see what happens after this episode goes live. Some teams may not look the same. Um,
Uh,
but yeah, I guess that's it for the teams and majors. All that stuff. I think for
okay.
Mercules, you know, I think it's honestly it's probably the best for his career to stay in Toronto, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
if you go to another team, you're just gonna be downgrading.
Yeah,
And who knows? Maybe this Toronto team changes up. They get worse. Hopefully, maybe for him. And he gets to
yeah.
sub in again. But that sucks. Um,
Can we talk about how dead the land was?
yeah, land. Uh,
How empty
like
it was? Look at this. Look at this chat.
uh, very empty. I don't know.
I I
LA
think it's
did a
just
really
I
bad
think
job.
I think it's the CDO's fault for choosing weird locations.
Yeah, no, I
I
hear you.
think honestly think this Major 4 might be like the best crowd we had
Yeah,
because they low
I
key
think
cook.
Major Four is gonna be very exciting. DreamHack, it's gonna be
Yeah,
really cool
I think they
setup.
cooked. The setup is pretty cool. They cooked.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I think that's all we had to talk about for CDL so far. Hopefully, some more interesting things come out. Um,
Yep.
but I think that's it for CDL. I guess teams to look out for this split. What do you think? Which team should we look out for, Marcos? Which team?
Um, hmm, I don't know.
I think my team to look out for is Boston.
I, f-
Boston played
I
really good
feel
this
like
major, last major,
I feel like Toronto too.
and
Now they have
Toronto.
Beans back.
Yeah, I wonder how they look at, with Beans. Because they looked
Yeah,
really good with Mercules, but you know, Beans is back in the lineup, so I'm really interested to see what happens with them. And I'm interested to see what
and
happens with
Optic.
New York. You know, but yeah, also Optic obviously, cause like if you're
Yeah,
not gonna drop anyone, then you have to have gotten better. Like I'm sorry, dude,
I
but
agree.
you gotta win games now, cause like you had a chance to pick up probably one of the best ARs in the game and you didn't. So it's kind of like crazy. I mean, my player to watch is Shotzi. I'm sorry, but I don't know. I'm not convinced with Shotzi. He has having a great season, but sorry, but it doesn't mean anything when you're top in eighth
Yeah,
place
they're
in
not winning
CDL.
anything.
Exactly.
They have been in eighth place every single major.
Yeah, they have not made a Saturday, so
That's so sad.
kind of crazy. But yeah, I think that's it for me, Marcus. I don't know if you want to talk about anything else, but
No, I think that's all. I think that's all we covered. Covered
yeah.
everything.
But yeah, guys, this is just the first episode. We're probably gonna talk about a little bit more stuff. If you guys want to talk about like whatever, let us know, right,
Yep.
Marcos?
Yep.
We're definitely interested in talking about like what the U18 league, college COD, um, other esports and sports in general. But for now, it's just Call of Duty because we play COD a lot. So um,
Yep.
yeah, I think that's it, Marcos. I don't know if you want to say anything else. Last few words, Marcos. Go ahead.
Twitch.tv/Cdl. Thank you.
All right, there you have it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah.